Hello everyone! Welcome to Teacher Hanji's channel. For today's tutorial, I will discuss solving problems involving variations. Here are our objectives for today's tutorial. First, identify problems that involves direct and inverse variations. Second, solve problems involving variations. Let us recall first what are the variations that we have discussed. So I have here the different variations, the definition of each variation, sample statement, and the equation for the given variation. So let's start with our first topic, which is about direct variation. Direct variation means for any quantities x and y, an increase in x causes an increase in y as well. Similarly, a decrease in x causes a decrease in y, in which the different sample statement will be y varies directly as x, y is directly proportional to x, and y is proportional to x, which means y is equal to k times x for its equation, in which k is the constant of variation and cannot be equal to 0. Aside from direct variation, we also have inverse variation, in which the quantities x and y, an increase in x causes a decrease in y. Similarly, a decrease in x causes an increase in y. So the sample statement for inverse variations are y varies inversely as x, y is inversely proportional to x, in which it can be translated into equation y is equal to k over x. The third variation is the joint variation. Remember that joint variation is the same with direct variation. Only that in joint variation, we are using more than two variables which are related directly, in which the sample statement will be z varies jointly as x and y, in which it can be written as z is equal to k times x times y, in which k is the constant of variation and not equal to 0. The last variation is the combined variation. Remember that combined variation involves a combination of direct or joint variation and inverse variation. So the sample statement for this will be y varies jointly as x and w and inversely as z, in which in equation it is y is equal to k times x times w all over z. Remember that k is the constant of variation and should not be equal to 0. So let us have this activity. Let us identify whether the phrases below illustrate direct variation or inverse variation. First, the number of hours to finish a job to the number of men working. Yes, this one is an example of inverse variation. Why? Because the more number of men working together, the less time they need to finish the given task. That's why it is an inverse variation. Let us add the second one. The area of the wall to the amount of paint used to cover it. This one is a direct variation. Why? Because the larger the area of the wall, the more paint you need to cover it. While the lesser the area of the wall, the less paint you need to cover the given wall. So that's why it is direct variation. Let us have the third one. The time a teacher spends checking papers to the number of students. Yes, this one is an example of direct variation. Why? Because the more number of students, the longer time teacher need to spend in checking the papers, while the lesser the number of students, the shorter the time that needs the teacher to spend in checking the paper. That's why it is a direct variation. Let us have the third one. The number of persons sharing a pie to the number of slices of the pie. This one is an example of inverse variation. The more number of persons to share a given pie, the less slices they will get, while the smaller the number of persons that going to share to a given pie, they will get a greater number of slices for the given pie. Let us have the last one. The amount of money raised in a concert to the number of tickets sold. Yes, this one is an example of direct variation. So these are the phrases or problems that involves direct and inverse variation. So how will we solve problems that involves variation? So we have here 4 steps. The first one is to write the correct equation where k is the constant of variations. Second step, from the problem, gather the given values to solve for the constant of variation or the value of k. Third, we need to rewrite the equation in step 1 by substituting the values given in the problem and the constant of variation obtained in step 2. And the last one, we need to write the appropriate unit. Now, let's begin. The amount of pea paint needed to paint the walls of a room varies directly as the area of the wall. If 2 gallons of paint is needed to paint a 40 square meter wall, how many gallons of paint are needed to paint a wall with an area of 100 square meters? So this problem is an example of direct variations. That's why our equation will be related to the equation for direct variations. So how will we write the equation for this problem? Let us stick with the first statement. We have here the amount of paint needed to paint the walls of a room varies directly as the area of the wall, in which the first variable is P, while the second variable is A. Therefore, our equation will be P is equal to K times A. And we will use this equation to accomplish step 2 and step 3. Let us solve for the value of K, in which we will use the equation P is equal to K times A. And we need to substitute the values given in our second statement that says if 2 gallons of paint is needed to paint a 40 square meter wall, in which 2 will be the amount of paint and 40 is the area of the wall. So let us substitute it in our equation. So we have 2 is equal to k times 40, which is the same with 2 is equal to 40 times k. So we know that to isolate k here, we need to divide both sides by 40. Therefore, we have k is equal to 2 over 40. And 2 over 40 is equal to 1 over 20. And that is the value of our k. Now, let us have step 3. Let us solve for the unknown. So, for the unknown, we are asked for how many gallons of paint are needed to paint a wall with an area of 100 square meters. So, using the equation in step 1, we already obtained the value of k. So, let us just substitute it to our equation. And from our last statement, it says that we have 100 square meters, which is the area of the wall. So let us substitute it to our A. Therefore, for the unknown variables, it is letter P, or the amount of paint needed. So therefore, we have P is equal to 1 over 20 for the value of K times 100 for the area of the wall. Multiplying these two, the answer will be P is equal to 100 over 20, and 100 divided by 20 is equal to 5. Therefore, the value of P is equal to 5. So let us move on with step 4, in which we will write the unit. Since we obtained here 5, then the answer to this problem is 5 gallons of paint. And that is the final answer. Let us have problem number 2. The number of days needed in repairing a house varies inversely as the number of men working. It takes 15 days for 2 men to repair the house. How many men are needed to complete the job in 6 days? So this one is obviously an example of inverse variation. So with this, we will use an equation that related to inverse variation. So let us start with the first statement. The number of days needed in repairing a house varies inversely as the number of men working. So let us assume that D will be the number of days, while M will be the number of men. From here, we will now create an equation in which D is equal to K over M. Again, K is our constant of variation. So let us use this equation to get the value of K. So using this equal to K over M, let us substitute the number of days here, which is 15, and the number of men working to repair a house, which is 2. So therefore, we have 15 is equal to K over 2. Then, to isolate K here, or to eliminate the denominator here, we need to multiply both sides by 2. Therefore, we have 2 times 15 is equal to K. And 2 times 15 is equal to 30, in which that is the value of our K. Now that we have the equation and the value of constant of variation, let us now solve for the unknown. Remember that we are asked for how many men are needed to complete the job in 6 days. So we are asked for the number of men. So meaning from our equation, we have the number of days, which is 6, and the value of K, which is 30. Let us find M. So we have 6 is equal to 30 over M. So again, to eliminate the denominator here, let us multiply both sides by M. Therefore, we have 6M is equal to 30. To isolate M here, let us divide both sides by 6. Therefore, our M is equal to 5. And that is the value of our M. Now, let us have the step 4. Let us write the units. Since we are asked for the number of men, then they need 5 men to complete the job in 6 days. And that is the final answer. Let us have problem number 3. The mass of rectangular sheet of wood varies jointly as the length and the width. When the length is 20 cm and the width is 10 cm, the mass is 200 grams. Find the mass when the length is 15 cm and the width is 10 cm. So this one is an example of joint variation. So let us move on with step 1. Let us write the equation for the given joint variation. So we have the mass of rectangular sheet of wood varies jointly as the length and the width. So let us say that M be the mass, L be the length, and W be the width. Therefore, our equation will be M is equal to K times L times W. And let us use this equation to solve for the value of K. So using M is equal to K times L times W, let us substitute 20 cm for the length, 10 cm for the width, and 200 grams for the mass. Therefore, we have 200 is equal to K times 20 times 10. And 20 times 10 times K is equal to 200K. Therefore, we have 200 is equal to 200K. So to isolate K here, let us divide both sides by 200. Therefore, our K is equal to 1. Now that we know the equation and the value of K, let us move on with step 3, solve for the unknown. So for this, we are asked to find the mass. So meaning in our equation, M is equal to K times L times W, we will look for the value of M, in which K is equal to 1, L is equal to 15, and W is equal to 10. Therefore, we have M is equal to 1 times 15 times 10. And 1 times 15 times 10 is equal to 150. And that is the value of M, or the mass of this rectangular sheet. Now, let us write the unit. Therefore, the mass is 150 grams. And that is the answer for problem number 3. So let us have our last problem, number 4. The force of attraction F of a body varies directly as its mass and inversely as the square of the distance d from the body. When M is equal to 10 kilograms and d is equal to 5 meters, F is equal to 100 newtons. Find F when M is equal to 3 kilograms and d is equal to 10 meters. So this one is obviously an example of combined variation because of the combination of direct variation and inverse variation. So let us use that knowledge to get the equation of this problem. So we have the force of attraction F of a body varies directly as its mass and inversely as the square of the distance. So therefore, our equation will be F for the first variable is equal to K times M over D square. So let us use this one to solve for the value of K. F is equal to K times M over D squared, in which F is equal to 100 newtons, M is equal to 10 kilograms, and D is equal to 5 meters. Therefore, by substituting those values, we have 100 is equal to K times 10 over 5 squared. When we simplify the fraction at the right side of our equal sign, we have 100 is equal to 10K over 25. So to isolate K here, we need to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 10 over 25, in which it is 25 over 10. Therefore, it will give us 25 over 10 times 100 is equal to K. And 25 times 100 is equal to 2,500 divided by 10 is equal to 250. And that is the value of our K. So let us now solve for the unknown. So from here, we are asked to find the value of F when M is equal to 3 kilograms and D is equal to 10. So using the equation in step 1, F is equal to Km over D squared, then our F will be our unknown, M will be equal to 3, and 10 will be equal to D, in which our constant is equal to 250. So let us substitute those values. We have F is equal to 250 times 3 over 10 squared, in which this one is equal to 750 over 100. And 750 divided by 100 is equal to 7.5. And that is the value of our F. For the last step, let us write the unit. Since we are asked for the force of attraction, then the answer for this problem is 7.5 newtons. So that is how we solve problems involving variation. Remember our first step in which we need to write the equations for the problems. The second step will be solving for the value of K, in which we will use the equation in step 1. So the third one is to solve for the unknown, in which we will use the equation in step 1 and substitute the values that we obtained in step 2 together with the values given in our problem. So for the step 4, we will write the appropriate unit. That's it for our video. Thank you for watching. See you again in my next video. Bye!